Welcome to the Art of Crochet DVD. It has been specially created to show you how to crochet step by step. All the basic techniques and stitches are shown in detailed close-up, so they are easy to follow. Use the crochet hook and the ball of vanilla yarn provided to practice what you are about to see. And don't forget that there is also a Getting Started guide with your first issue that has printed versions of these instructions. Crochet is not difficult. There are a few basic stitches to learn, and the different patterns and textures you can create are made from combinations of these basic stitches. With crochet, a single hook is used to work one stitch at a time from a continuous length of yarn. The crochet hook has a hook at one end and a flat piece in the middle. The two most common methods of holding the hook are the pencil position and the knife position. In the pencil position, you hold the flat part of the stem between your thumb and forefinger, as if it were a pencil, with the stem above your hand. For the knife position, the stem is against the palm of your hand, while the thumb and forefinger grasp the flat part. Try both of these positions to see which feels the most comfortable and natural for you. If you are right-handed, hold the hook in your right hand. If you are left-handed, the hook should be in your left hand. To begin crochet, you need to make a slip knot on the hook. Take the ball of practice yarn, with about 15 centimeters or 6 inches of the end of the yarn to your left. Hold the yarn between the thumbs and forefingers of both hands, like this. Push your thumbs and forefingers towards each other and create a loop by crossing the yarn in your left hand, in front of the yarn in your right hand. Hold the loop between your right thumb and forefinger. Let the tail of the short end of the yarn hang down behind the loop like this. Transfer the loop to your left hand and catch the yarn hanging down behind the loop with your hook. Draw it through the loop. Pull on both ends of the yarn with your left hand to tighten the knot, and then pull on the short end of the yarn to slide the knot up towards the hook. This is now your first stitch. Let's look at that again. You now have the hook in your right hand with a slip knot on the hook. In order to crochet, you need to hold the yarn in your left hand and control the flow of the yarn through your fingers. There are two methods of controlling the yarn, the forefinger method and the middle finger method. For each one, you wrap the yarn around your fingers in a slightly different way. Here we show you both methods. Again, you can practice and decide which feels most comfortable for you, and allows you to control the yarn more easily. Here's the forefinger method. Hold the crochet hook in your right hand. The working yarn which you are going to wrap around your fingers is the yarn that is coming from the ball, not the short end. Wrap the working yarn around the little finger of your left hand from front to back in a clockwise direction. Take the yarn under the next two fingers and over your forefinger. Hold the slip knot just below the hook, between the thumb and middle finger of your left hand. Raise your forefinger to control the flow of the yarn through your fingers. For the middle finger method, wrap the working yarn around the little finger of your left hand, from front to back in a clockwise direction. Pass the yarn over the next 3 fingers. Hold the slip knot just below the hook, between the thumb and forefinger of your left hand. Now raise your middle finger to control the flow of the yarn through your fingers. Once you begin to crochet, you can experiment with both the positions for holding the hook and the yarn, until you find one you prefer. Most people find it easier to use the forefinger method of holding the yarn, with the hook held in the pen position, and the middle finger method of holding the yarn with the knife position. But there are no hard and fast rules. It is whichever you find most comfortable, and most importantly, the method that gives you the most control over the hook and yarn. The first row of a piece of crochet is called the foundation chain, and it consists of a series of chain stitches. Now you have made a slip knot and are holding your hook and yarn, you are ready to make a foundation chain. Holding the slip knot with your left hand and keeping the working yarn taut, catch the yarn with the hook. To do this, move the hook forward and take it under, behind and over the yarn, turning the hook slightly towards you as you do this, so the yarn is caught under the hooked end. This is called yarn round hook. Let's look at this again. Draw the hook and the yarn back through the slip knot. You now have a single loop on the hook and have created the first chain stitch. Repeat this to form another chain stitch. As you create each chain stitch, move your left hand up the chain so you are always holding the chain just below the hook. This gives you maximum control. Keep on making chain stitches until you have a row of stitches. The trick is to make the foundation chain as even as possible, with all the chains the same size. This will take a little bit of practice, so take some time now. You can work some chains, have a look at them, and then pull them out and start again. The chain should not be too tight because you will be working into these stitches on the first row of your pattern. This is what they should look like. If your chains are too tight, make sure that the yarn is flowing easily through your fingers. You can experiment with how you are holding the yarn and hook at this point to see which you find easier. Once you are satisfied that you can make a row of even-sized chains, work a foundation chain of 15 chains. Each chain counts as one stitch. Let's have a close-up look at the foundation chain. This is the chain with the front of the stitches facing you. They form flat V-shapes. The loop currently on the hook is not counted as a stitch, nor is the slip knot at the beginning of the chain. You can count each V-shape to check the number of stitches. Here you can count 15 chains. The most basic crochet stitch is the slip stitch. You are now going to work slip stitch into the foundation chain you have made. Make sure that you are holding the hook and the yarn comfortably. Hold the foundation chain in your left hand, about 3 chains from the hook end. Insert the hook from front to back, under the top of the second chain from the hook. Let's have a closer look at that. Note how you identify the second chain from the hook by counting the V-shapes. And which part of the chain stitch you insert the hook into. Wrap the yarn around the hook in just the same way that you did when you were making the chain stitches. Draw the yarn through both the loops on the hook, moving the left hand to hold the chain below the hook, making it easier to draw the yarn smoothly through the loops. This makes a slip stitch. To continue working slip stitch, insert the hook into the next chain and repeat. Continue working into each chain to make a row of slip stitch. Let's practice some more times. Again, it is worth repeating this until it feels smooth and comfortable and the stitches look even. Just pull out all the stitches and the foundation chain and start again with another foundation chain. You are now going to learn another basic stitch, which is called double crochet, and we are going to work it in rows, working backwards and forwards. Start by making a foundation chain of 20 chains. Hold the foundation chain in your left hand about 3 chains from the hook. Insert the hook from front to back, under the top loop of the second chain from the hook. Wrap the yarn around the hook and draw the yarn through the chain loop only. There are now 2 loops on the hook. Wrap the yarn around the hook again and draw the yarn through both loops on the hook. This completes 1 double crochet. Let's repeat that, working into the next chain. Insert the hook from front to back under the top loop. Wrap the yarn around the hook and draw the yarn through the chain loop only. There are now 2 loops on the hook. Wrap the yarn around the hook again and draw the yarn through both loops on the hook. Continue working along the foundation chain, working a double crochet in each chain. When you reach the end of the row, your stitches should look like this. Next, turn the work like this. Now make 1 chain stitch, wrap the yarn around the hook and draw it through the loop on the hook. This is called the turning chain and is made at the beginning of every row. This turning chain takes the work up to the right height for the next row. Different stitches require a different number of chains depending on the height of the stitch. Double crochet is a compact stitch, so it only needs 1 turning chain. You are now ready to work the new row. Skip the chain you just made and work a double crochet into the first stitch. From now on, you will insert the hook under the top 2 loops of every stitch. Continue along the row, working a double crochet into each stitch on the row below. When you reach the end of the row, turn the work and make the turning chain. Continue as before. Skip the chain stitch and then work a double crochet into every stitch on the row below. Remember that each stitch is worked under 2 loops of the stitch below. Carry on working rows of double crochet backwards and forwards. Double crochet creates a firm fabric. Your stitches should be neat and even. You will find that as you work more rows, you will become more relaxed. The yarn will flow through your fingers and you will create a rhythm of raising your forefinger or middle finger to release the yarn you need to make each stitch. In total, there are 5 basic stitches. You've now learnt 2 of them. In the magazine, you'll discover the other stitches. More complex stitches are made up of variations and combinations of these 5 basic stitches. When you have finished your piece of crochet, you need to fasten off the last stitch securely. When you have the last loop on the crochet hook, snip off the yarn from the ball, leaving a tail of approximately 30 centimeters or 12 inches. Catch the yarn with the hook and pull the loose end through the final loop. Remove the hook and pull on the yarn to tighten the loop. When you start crocheting, it is usual to feel all fingers and thumbs, and this means that the flow of yarn through your fingers is not smooth, and this in turn can make your stitches uneven. I bet your first row of stitches either looks like this or looks like this. Don't worry, just pull off the stitches, snip that bit of wool and try again. Even after several attempts, it may not be perfect, but just start crocheting and it will soon even itself out as you go, as you get used to controlling the tension while you practice. Once you've made a foundation chain and tried slip stitch and double crochet, it is worth returning to the section on holding the hook and the yarn and experimenting with a different method. The key to success is being able to raise your forefinger or middle finger, depending on which method you choose, in an independent motion that releases enough yarn from your little finger and the ball of yarn to make the next stitch. If you don't release enough yarn, you will be working too close to the hook like this, and your stitches will be too tight. If you release too much yarn, then you will be working too far from the hook like this, and in danger of making loopy stitches. Another important element that gives you control of your tension and the formation of the stitches is how you hold the fabric in your left hand as you work. Grip it firmly between your thumb and finger, but release and reposition your finger and thumb as you work along stitch by stitch. This offers up the next stitch to be worked in the correct position.